Get out the insurance cards, get out the copays. The office is open, my friends. Brought to you by drroto.com.
What's up, my fellow breadheads? Nape C. Hustle here, and welcome to our quick Sunday recap show powered by drroto.com. Man, it's been a crazy week in the world of college basketball, weekend, I should say. And like I said, we're here to quickly recap it. But before we get into this recap, let me bring in the captain of the Green Screens Media ship. You can find him on X at MCHolland34. Big money winner this weekend, Mr. Mike Holland. What's up, brother?
What's up, man? Glad to be back doing our normal Sunday routine, although a bit early because in a few short hours, we are going to have one of the wildest selection Sundays in the history of mankind. So, yeah, I'm excited to be here. It was a great week in the DFS streets, man. Won 2,500. So I'm pretty excited about that. Don't think we're going to get a seat, but that's okay. We still got a few games going right now. But I'm more looking forward towards this bracket reveal. And we are doing a bracket challenge. If you have not heard, it's pretty simple. And we're also giving away a signed Caleb Love jersey. So come join us, play your broskies in basketball. It's pretty simple. You see it down there on the screen. You just fill out the form. Make sure you're subscribed on YouTube. We're on a rocket ship right now, heading to our first 1,000 subscribers. And pretty easy to find it, man. Links in the chat. So you can also look at it on our Twitter page at OneAndDoneCBB. So we got that going on, man. We I think we're doing a show here in like 5 to 6 hours. We're going to do a first look with all four of us. So that'll be a lot of fun. I don't think we've ever had all four of us on the screen before. So looking forward to that one as well. And just looking forward to kind of chatting about what happened this weekend. So let's get it going, my man.
Yeah, exactly, man. Having the 4 squares screen, man, it's just going to be like the brand GSM.
Going to be a lot of egos.
I'll try and corral all you fools. But let's go ahead. We'll move into the show here. Good luck to anybody that does fill out that bracket challenge. We want to find a good home for that Caleb Love jersey.
Exactly.
Just not my home because it's Arizona. Anyways, getting into these headlines. Don't want to bury any of the leads in these headlines, right? But wanted to go through a couple of these non-bid stealers, starting off with the Big 12. Man, Houston just got rocked by Iowa State. Iowa State's the Big 12 Conference Championship tournament champion. Man, that final was 69-41. Now, Juwan Roberts was injured, but I mean, Iowa State just took it to them, right? Mike, what are your takeaways from this conference tournament? I mean, the best conference in the country.
Yeah, man, that was a little unforeseen, but I mean, Juwan Roberts means so much to Houston, especially on that front line. They already lost Tugler, so the backup big there. So they're already having to kind of change up their style of play throughout the game now. So Roberts, a guy that's going to need to log heavy minutes. He'd been banged up pretty much every game coming through here. Shin injury, just has dealt with leg injury the entire year. So he is one of the best players in the Big 12, a guy that's been to a Final Four, an Elite Eight, a Sweet 16. So a lot of experience there. But Iowa State, man, like holding Houston to 27% from the field. I mean, it's a 28-point rout. So it's the second loss that Houston's had to Iowa State. They lost at Iowa State earlier this year. Absolutely love the backcourt, Lipsy and Gilbert from Iowa State. They have a lot of firepower defensively. Now, offensively, I'm a little worried. With those two being lead guards. I obviously think they can make it to the second weekend pretty easily, depending on their draw. But I worry like them with Houston. Like, can they make enough shots in these big dance settings? Trademark there. But we'll see if the committee decides to jump them ahead of UNC. I think that's an interesting storyline. I don't think that's going to happen. So we'll see what happens there, man. But Big 12 strong as ever. Probably going to get 9 teams in. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I mean, when I saw that score, it just blew me away. I was like, Jesus.
Yeah,
and then
like what happened?
They're just the kryptonite to Houston, right?
Yeah, exactly. Tough defensive-minded team, man.
Seriously, yeah. Good stuff, man. we'll move on. Like, I wanted to talk about New Mexico, right? So we talked about them. I think it was last week, talking about how they're on the bubble. They need a lot of work to get in.
Yeah,
man, they concluded the week that they needed. It was a wild week. I mean, came into the conference tournament and took care of business.
Yeah.
Winning all the way out. What are your thoughts on the Lobos and San Diego State here?
Yeah, that was like a championship game. Great run for New Mexico, an impressive 4-day run. We've seen a lot of impressive 4 and 5-day runs throughout the championship weekend. Wins over Air Force, which is more of a bye game, but you still have to play the game. Boise State, Colorado, San Diego State to finish it off. The title game was a slugfest between them and SDSU. The difference was turnovers. I mean, New Mexico only turned the ball over 3 times. Like, you're typically going to win a ton of games if you only turn the ball over 3 times. So I thought the Aztecs did pretty well for being the hunted this year. So no one's really talking about them, but a squad that can really do some major damage.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about how good this Mountain West was this year, right? And we have all these bid stealers, but it still looks like we're going to get, our 6 teams in from the Mountain West. And that would be projected more than the ACC, the Pac-12, Big East, and tied with the Big Ten. I mean, huge year for the Mountain West this year. It's been a lot of fun to watch. What are your thoughts on all that?
Yeah, I hope the committee comes through with 6 teams. It would be a shame if New Mexico's obviously in, Nevada safely in, Utah State safely in, San Diego State safely in. UNLV and Colorado State, I mean, they probably don't have much to worry about. But there's not a precedent for this many teams out of this conference. So we'll see if the committee goes ahead and follows through with how tough we've thought this conference was, not only this year, but they were really tough last year. Got 4 teams in. We were begging for a 5th, and committee only gave us 4 last year. So I think that's what makes San Diego State's year pretty impressive. Like, they make the championship game. They come back this year, and their conference all of a sudden gets into the weight room and beefs up, and they're the hunted, right? So, I mean, look at what Utah State was able to do. Very impressive with Coach Sprinkle bringing his guys, Brown and Osabor, with him. 2 phenomenal players. Then the final 3-week one that we've been talking about by UNLV was pretty excellent. You love what freshman Deaton Thomas was able to do. And then Nevada and Colorado State, they put up impressive resumes. I mean, Colorado State has the win. They both actually have wins over Creighton. So they feature some of the best guard tandems in the country, Blackshear Lucas for Nevada, and then Stevens and Clifford for Colorado State. So, yeah, I'm hoping we do not get a case of only 5 Mountain West teams, but trust the committee, right? They seem like a trustworthy group.
I guess we'll find out here in a couple hours. Right on. Good stuff there. Hey, while you're here with us, we have make sure you go out there and subscribe, tell your friends about your favorite broskies in basketball here on One and Done. We have a comment here from Owen Miller. It's effing March, baby. Let's go.
Beep.
Yeah, beep.
Hit the beep.
Yeah, thanks for the comment, man. Appreciate it. Let us know what you think. That's going to happen in the next couple hours with the selection committee for sure. Everybody out there, get in the comments. Let us know what you think. We'll go ahead and move on to the madness that was yesterday. Like, what a day was yesterday.
Absolutely.
Right?
What a day.
Oh, my God. NC State just shocking the world in the ACC. I mean, they won 5 games in 5 days and grab an automatic bid. Talk about bid stealer, right? Obviously, this was part of the ridiculous day yesterday. Mike, let's just start there. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, they'd lost 4 in a row coming into the tournament, and their best player, former Sun Devil DJ Horn, was hurt. And then what a run. No one really saw this coming. Now, like we just talked about, New Mexico, they played Air Force in the first round. So North Carolina State getting Louisville in the first round, took care of business there. And then beating Syracuse. Syracuse was a 20-win team this year. And then, of course, you run through Duke, Virginia, and then North Carolina to finish it off. Like, now they do have a lot of depth on this team, and the ability to get obviously DJ Horn back in the middle of the tournament was great. But I guess Kevin Keats isn't getting fired now. I saw that he has like a trigger where he gets a 2-year extension because he won the ACC tournament. So absolutely gone from like being about to be fired to he's going to be there for at least 2 more years, I guess. But Diarra was awesome during the tournament, as well as O'Connell. Like clearly playing some of the best ball in the country right now. Obviously, I think it's going to be interesting to see where they slot in, and then I might bounce Virginia from their spot. So we'll see. Like Virginia probably, and we're going to talk about this a little bit later about some bubble teams and kind of the metrics and things like that. So we'll see. NC State playing a thief probably in their own conference. We got a question coming in here from Owen saying McNeese or Grand Canyon. Who's more likely to make it the second weekend? Okay, so McNeese is going to get a lot of buzz because it's Will Wade. They do have the TCU transfer Shahada Wells, who's an awesome player, and then Christian Shoemate is also an excellent player. Wade crushed it in the transfer portal. Obviously, he's just a winner. He's won like 70+% of his games. They're going to be a popular pick, but honestly, Grand Canyon, we've been banging this drum very hard for the entire season and even in the off season. So I really like what Bryce Drew's got with his squad at their backcourt. We have guards and March, right? So they have a 3-headed monster at guard, and they've got a pretty solid forward. So in McLaughlin. So I really, really like Grand Canyon. Now, a lot of this is matchup based. Like last year, we loved Drake until we saw them have to play Miami. Then we all loved Oral Roberts with Max Asmus in the Connor Vanover, but then they ran into Duke, and it was like, well, Duke's not really a typical, I think they were 4 seed last year. It's like that's one of the top 10 rosters in the country. Just they didn't really put it all together during the year. And of course, it was like a 30-point blowout. So a lot of it's going to be matchup based. So we'll have to see. And we're going to talk about that later tonight. So tune into that show. I think we're probably going to go around about 9:30 Eastern time ish, as we like to say here on the One and Done Show. But great question, Owen. I just love the backcourt of Grand Canyon. So we'll see how it all shakes out. But those are 2 of the most dangerous mid-majors along with Drake and Oakland. So all right, man. Yeah. So moving back to North Carolina State, I guess we're penciling them in somewhere. That's what the bylaws say. You win the conference tournament and you're in. So let's talk about your teams out west, man, in the final season of the Pac-12. Some absolute madness out that way as well.
Yeah, man. I remember texting you last night. And you're like, wait, what?
Oregon
beating Colorado. We were like, you. I think you even said you're like, wait, is that the final? Like,
yeah, I thought the final was today, but yeah, I was like, wait, what? You're like, no,
yeah, man, they beat them, man. That's another bid stealer, and it's the same situation, right? They could potentially knock Colorado out of the tournament because of this bid. What are your thoughts on this whole thing, man?
Yeah, major storyline. I mean, I guess it's like a playoff game. Essentially, it feels like with these conference tournaments, you're probably taking away from your own. And also hurting the mid-majors that have really impressive resumes, which we'll talk about Indiana State a little bit later on. But another team like New Mexico, Oregon was able to take care of the ball. They were able to get easy buckets inside. I mean, Oregon's had the worst luck the last 2 seasons with injuries, like just multiple guys out for the year, multiple guys injured, multiple guys only playing half the year. Like it's been pretty crazy. And you look how much Nafali Dante impacts both ends of the floor. He had 25 points on 12 of 12 shooting. was getting everything he wanted, at the rim. 9 boards, 4 stocks to go along with it. So an impact player on both ends of the floor. Colorado didn't have any answers for him on the inside. Lampkin tried his best, but he's been beat up a little bit by some of the better bigs in the conference. And then Jackson Shelstad, who is the Conductors preseason pick for freshman of the year in the Pac-12. Also playing very, very well after slowing down a few weeks ago. So, man, you have any thoughts on this Pac-12 heat? Where's your Sun Devils at, man? They couldn't pull off a run here.
No, had my fingers crossed, but that didn't do anything. My Sun Devils are probably not even going to make it in the NIT. We'll see. We'll see what happens there. But I do want to talk about Colorado, man. I mean, it would just be so disappointing. It'd be a disappointing ending for their year, right? I mean, they had 8 wins in a row before falling to Oregon in the championship game. Like, if they don't get in, that's just like heart-wrenching. You know what I mean? The bid stealers and strength of the Mountain West is just hurting their chances of getting in. It's pretty rough.
Rough in these streets.
Yeah, the streets. Well, let's dive into some more of these bid stealers for a minute here. I mean, we had South Florida and Florida Atlantic fall, and now we have a final between Temple and UAB. Temple's the first, I think, 11 seed, that they have a chance to be the first 11 seed to win a tournament ever, I think, is what I overheard. But, I mean, that game's going on right now. It's actually going into halftime. It's 43-25 UAB, so I don't think that story's going to happen there. But, Mike, I mean, it feels like FAU is in. So the AAC will be a 2-bid league. Thoughts on this madness, AAC madness? I mean, you were singing the song earlier.
I don't know about 2 bids, man, because you're seeing a lot of chatter right now about FAU's resume. People don't care that they made the Final Four last year and basically have the same team. Don't know that they're clearly in. I feel like the committee is going to put them in because of merit from last year. I feel like that's a little hard to ignore, but they have 3 quad 4 losses and only 2 quad 1 wins. So I think they're in based on the boost from last year. Whether that's right or wrong, I don't know. I try not to think about it like that, but when it's the exact same team and you know, they got, man, like they have some bad losses, but they had some really good wins this year too. So I can't really fault them for, you know, the conference that they play in, but they went out and scheduled some tough teams, beat Arizona in double overtime. That was an awesome game to watch earlier in the season. But today, like you said, man, UAB, Andy Kennedy, man, he's had some impressive teams over the last few years with Jelly Walker. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see Jelly get in last year, but I think they have a chance to pull an upset. They got this kid, Yaxel Lindyborg. He's an absolute machine. They have a really good front court. So if I don't think Temple's going to make this 18-point comeback, so we can probably cross them off, even though I'm probably speaking it into existence. So yeah, I think UAB could pull an upset if they get the right matchup. So
yeah, that'd be interesting to see. I mean, all these bubble teams. I love March. All these bubble teams, all the bid stealing, all this kind of stuff makes it a lot of fun to talk about here. Make sure you like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. We got a ton of content coming out because we made it to March. We made it to March Madness. We made it here. This is our time. We ain't going nowhere. Yeah, like he said, it's effing March.
Kid friendly show. The Sunday recap. Kid friendly show.
We do it on Sundays, right? So we got to be church like. But speaking of these bubble teams, man, let's kind of get into these. Let's switch it over. We've mentioned a couple times already some of them. I mean, we've talked about FAU, Colorado a little bit. Mike, what sticks out to you on paper here with this graph we have here?
Yeah, so we're pulling up Torvik's graph. It's pretty awesome. Shows the resume, the net ranking currently, their quadrant records, as you can see on the screen here. I mean, we just talked about Colorado. They're 25th in the net. So, 4 quad 1 wins, have taken care of business in quad 3 and 4. It's just the fact that there were so many 5 bid stealers that it's like some good teams are going to be left out. And and they're talking about expanding the tournament. Like, we're not going to get this type of like height because you expand it to like 96 teams or whatever. And then it's like, we're talking about, the 7th team in the Mountain West and then, a 3rd team in the AAC. And it's like, let's not do that, but that's for another show as well.
Just to lose the product, right?
Yeah. Lose the product. Right now, we're like YOLOing, like, you know what I mean? So I love that. But, thing that sticks out to me is people are getting upset because FAU and Michigan State, right, are presumably in, and some people are saying Michigan State should be close to the bubble. When you look at it, like 24th in the net, now the resume, the KPI, the SOR for them, it's not great as far as the resume, but the quality, BPI quality is way up there. So you love that. 3-9 in the quad 1, like not fantastic, but they've taken care of business in quad 3 and 4. I think the one thing that could have held them back is having a quad 3 or 4 loss, or maybe 2 would have definitely kept them out. If you had 1, I think there's a better argument for Michigan State not being in. But see Torvik here has them as a 10 and getting in probably part of that last 4 in for sure. Indiana State, man, we really wanted to see it, and I think we would have gotten it had the Pac-12, had the ACC, had the AAC not had all this stuff happen over the past couple of days. I think Indiana State would have been in. I mean, their metrics are strong, 29th in the net. You look at their BPI, it's 41st, not terrible. The problem is the lack of quad 1 wins, but it's not their fault that no one wants to schedule them. This happens every year with mid majors. They can't get anybody to ever play them unless they go play in a tournament at the beginning of the year, because no Auburn Auburn's different. Auburn went and played at Appalachian State and actually lost, which actually wasn't that surprising. But that's why these teams don't want to go there. They don't want to lose a game to a mid-major team that'll be held against them. So they're not going to schedule these teams. So Indiana State, sitting here 1-4 in the quad one. Man, that was a beautiful game that they had against Drake in the championship game. I really want us to get Robbie Avila just for the hype of the glasses in the game. Like the nicknames will just be out there. But yeah, man, like at the top of the board, like it feels like Michigan State, FAU are going to get in. Indiana State, I feel like, is on the outside looking in. What are your thoughts on kind of this? I mean, this is going to be insane. Like, I can't wait to see the reactions on the TV, especially when they get to the last bracket, because you like 3/4 will be filled. And it's like, man, if you don't see the 10 or the 11 next to them, who's going to be the play-ins? Like, it's going to be a lot of fun. And it's going to be some sad teams out there. But any thoughts on these resumes that are out there?
Yeah, when I took a look at this, one that stood out to me and thought it was really interesting was Texas A&M. Them being 7-7 in Q1. Really, what's holding them back is that 2-4 record in quad 3. So that's kind of tough. I mean, their SOR is also behind teams like Mississippi State and FAU. Really interesting. I don't think they're going to be getting in. I think they're going to be one of the first 4 out, like we said before we got on. But yeah, I think Texas A&M is really interesting. The other big thing too, excuse me, is the Big East in general, right? I mean, potentially they're down to 3 teams now.
That's insane, dude.
Yeah, St. John's, Villanova, and Seton Hall, all looking iffy. The Big East, they're the second-rated conference in the country, according to KenPom, and it doesn't feel right not having at least 4 representatives, right? I mean, it's second best conference.
Maybe even 5, man. Like, it feels wrong, right? It's kind of dirty. I don't know.
I know. That's crazy. I mean, personally, I feel St. John's should be in, but that's just me. I think you share that same sentiment, but
yeah, I think Villanova's probably out. That 1-point win against DePaul, everyone watching, was not good. And then obviously probably needed to beat Marquette to even have a chance. And then Seton Hall, that sucks, man. Like,
yeah,
just these bid stealers have now, like, Seton Hall firmly in this time on the recap show last week. 5 bid stealers have now put teams like Seton Hall, Texas A&M. What's crazy, we need Northwestern firmly in for basically the entire season. And now they're on maybe the outside looking in, which is, I don't know. Torvik has them at 9. There's a lot of people talking about their net ranking, 53rd. Man, like that would be sad not to see Boo Buie. That'd be history, them getting into back-to-back tournaments here. Yeah. So, they took care of business in quad 3 and 4. Just when you look at it, the net ranking, it matters. Texas A&M has a higher net ranking, even though they've got so we'll see what the committee judges more, right? We'll see if they want, if they're going to go net ranking, if they're going to go with A&M just has too many bad losses. Northwestern, maybe not the best net ranking, but 4-7 in Q1, over 500 in Q2, and then just a 1 bad loss in Q4, 12-1 in quad 3 and 4. So we'll see which way they decide to go, whether better wins, better net, or if they want to go, you just couldn't lose to to these bad teams. So
right. What about Providence, man? I think they've had a pretty crazy year too. I mean,
yeah, man. I know Torvik has them first 4 out. They're part of that mess in the Big East. I mean, we were thinking the whole season Big East was 5. Absolutely. Yeah. So what I could see happening is someone like UNLV getting left out. I mean, they only have 5 quad 1 wins. They got some bad losses too. So we'll see, man. Like, the committee's got a lot to sort through. A lot of numbers to look at. But there's going to be probably 6 to 8 teams that are going to be pretty upset, man, and have a pretty good grab. But that's what makes it fun, man. Like, that's what makes it fun. Like, it sucks for them, but We want like the drama of it, right? It's good for
Exactly.
business too.
But if you're just letting everybody in, it's no fun.
Yeah, it's like, why even play the season?
Exactly. Just
Let's
have the
do the
season as a
tournament.
tournament and then call it a day after a week.
Exactly.
Well, good stuff, man. Yeah, I mean, we kind of already went through other thoughts, but do you have any thoughts to close out? I mean, we have the bracket challenge coming up. We have a couple other things coming through the pipe. What say you on what's coming up in the coming days?
Yeah, so tonight we're doing the kind of the first look. We'll have the four of us on, like we mentioned. It'll be awesome to kind of break down who got the 1 seeds, who got some interesting matchups, the 8-9s and the 7-10s that'll play the 2 and the 1 seed the next round. If there's any any Cinderellas, I want FAU to get a 9 seed and play Purdue in the second round. I think that would be a lot of fun. So. But yeah, man, the bracket challenge, I'm looking forward to it, man. We usually set these things on fire after the first day, whenever 3 things we didn't think were going to happen. 3 upsets will happen. So the link's in the chat on YouTube. So if you're watching on Twitter, head over to Green Screens Media on YouTube, or it's pinned on the show page handle on Twitter at @OneAndDoneCBB. Get in there, chop it up with your boys, win that signed Caleb Love jersey that Nate C. Hustle does not want. He wants to win the bracket challenge.
Just to burn
like Ant the Kid. Here is Sam the Sniper, 5-3. We've proven folks wrong.
We knew he was going to come in and say something.
Yeah, living high right now, man. Living high. But I think you would trade that in for a national title. So we'll see. We'll see Auburn's draw. Absolutely dangerous on both ends of the floor. Play a ton of guys. Like Pearl is awesome. So we'll see how that is, man. But we're less than 2 hours away, man. So I'm gonna say goodnight to my wife and kids and get ready for what's about to happen, man.
Yeah, for sure. I've got a little bit left of this game to watch, the second half of the AAC game. Yeah, exciting stuff. We will see you guys a little bit later on tonight. Remember, go out there, high five a stranger, say what's up to your friends out there, make sure you're checking on them. And till next time, here in a couple hours, let's get that bread.
Thanks for stopping by the office. Get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drrodo.com. And until the next visit, be well and take care.